I think several of us, my generation, began to realize that we were losing our young people. And we sat down one evening and had discussion, several of us, Carl Stogsdale and Dan Merriweather, Jeff Thornton, and began to just have a conversation about what we can do within our community to create an environment that young people are going to want to come back and be a part of the Karval community. And as a result of that, we formed the Karval Alliance. Well, what do we have within our landscape that folks would be interested in? We don't have a Walmart. We don't have a gas station or convenience store. And so, how do we think out of the box and think about what we have that might create excitement about coming into Karval and spending 2 or 3 days with us. And at that time, we were just beginning to start plover research.
I'm Vicki Dreitz. I'm assistant professor in the wildlife biology program at the University of Montana. And I have been studying mountain plovers in the Karval community since 2001. Shortgrass prairie is one of 3 different grassland types here in the North America Great Plains region. And it's one of those grassland types where most of the biomass is below ground, and it just has different characteristics and properties, or what we call ecosystem functions, versus the other 2 grassland types, which is the mixed grass prairie and the tall grass prairie, where most of that biomass is above ground. So you see those changes pretty dramatically. Out here in the short grass, we don't see a lot of changes because a lot of stuff's happening underground. The things we do see, though, are certain things like they get a tenth of moisture out here, and you do start to see the above ground community change pretty dramatically. And so it's just a very different grassland system. And with that, then, it serves it's home for a lot of different species than what we see in some of our other grassland systems.
We're seeking people who are interested in preserving the shortgrass prairie and studying it as an environment in order to help us develop the research and the education center in Karval. We want to develop a permanent facility in Karval which will house ongoing research so that it can be done year after year.
And I think there is the need for a center to have the opportunity to educate the next generation, to educate our neighbors, to work with agencies, NGOs, and deal with sensitive species. I think Karval community has a model of how we can do something on the ground successfully at minimal cost and taking care of species of concern. And I think the center would provide those resources not only at that level but also at a college level. We have several interns that have been here through the summer months doing the research, working on the land, and to have a center would kind of give us that focal place that we could put kids up, provide housing for them, provide training, and allow them to spend a couple of months through the summer here in the Karval community, putting them on the ground in our backyards, working with landowners and seeing what's going on with the research in the wildlife species within our community.
We hope the education center can be used to look at long-term policies for preserving the shortgrass prairie ecosystem. We would like there to be policies which are developed based on scientific evidence rather than on hearsay or people's impressions of the shortgrass prairie. Karval is an ideal location for the research center because it's within reach of Denver and Colorado Springs. You can come in from those airports from outside, but we are an undisturbed area, and there's a large amount of ranch land and farmland in the area, which offers a more pristine location for the studying of the species, which is less influenced by human populations.
The challenge now is just come up with the funding have the opportunity to have the dollars to put this all together. So I see this as a model of how a community can portray who they are, what the landscape is all about, and do good things on the ground for wildlife.
It's been very welcoming, and they're interested, and they want to help, and that's always been inspiring. I mean, this whole story about this Karval community to me is very inspiring, and it keeps me going and want to come back and want to be down here working on a regular basis and helping this community keep their livelihood down here going.
I mean, I think it can be a model of where we can go with endangered species. We can say, hey, you know, we have done this. It's been successful. And anytime you have the collaboration neighbor to neighbor, landowners to agencies, community involved, there will be success at the end of the day. And we've got all those good things going on within the Karval community. So I can't think of a better place for it to happen.